Mercedes has some real issues, no doubt about it. We saw in Bahrain they were not on the pace of Ferrari and Red Bull, and it's the same thing in Jeddah, with the team just not on it at all during the weekend. And we saw something shocking in qualifying, with Lewis Hamilton being knocked out in Q1. That is unbelievable. And in this video, I'm going to discuss the issues Mercedes is facing and the numbers that are going to be really worrying them, following what we have seen in Saudi Arabia. So let's get into it. Now before we begin, if you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more Formula 1 content. But let's get into it, and with the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix the weekend after the race in Bahrain, Mercedes were not going to find a simple fix to its problems in a matter of a few days. In the season opening race, it was clear that the car was suffering from multiple problems, although two really did stand out, that being the lack of straight line speed and the violent bouncing, which is also known as porpoising. Now in terms of straight line speed, Mercedes said their car was too draggy in Bahrain, hence the lack of straight line speed there. If you look at the rear wing for example, you can see how much of it the team has put on the car, with the upwards curve on the flat being quite steep and definitely much more than the Red Bull, who you can see ran a much lower wing. This would have helped Mercedes with its downforce, but in a straight line, the W13 was absolutely nowhere compared to rivals, as there was so much drag as a result of the increased wing. This weekend though, you can see the rear wing on the W13 is basically flat. Mercedes said they were going to take a chainsaw to it in Saudi, and they certainly have, with the team going for a really low drag setup to help air pass smoother and quicker around the car. But here's the problem, Mercedes just don't have the straight line speed of rivals in Jeddah. Yes, they overwinged it in Bahrain, hence resulting in a lack of speed, but as I say, you can see the team are running a really aggressive low drag setup this weekend, and it should help them find speed, especially if the issue was error related in Bahrain. But it seems they are still well behind. For example, in free practice 3, Hamilton on one of his quickest laps went through the speed trap at 199 miles an hour. Sergio Perez in the Red Bull on his flyer went through at 208 miles an hour. While Ferrari aren't as fast as Red Bull, they are still quicker than Mercedes as well, going through the speed trap at around 203 miles an hour. This is costing Mercedes big time in Saudi Arabia given the long straights around the circuit, and for me, it doesn't even look like Ferrari and Red Bull are opting to go as low drag as what Mercedes has done on the rear wing, so their lack in straight line speed should worry them. Now porpoising is still affecting the team as well. Given the Jeddah track has a smoother surface than Bahrain, I didn't think it would be as bad, but you can see from the onboards that it's still pretty violent, the bouncing. And this seems to be affecting the team in the high-speed corners, as it seems the porpoising is not giving the drivers the confidence to push it hard through them, and with the Jeddah circuit being full of high-speed corners, there's a lot of time lost, and for me, it looks like the team are just not as committed as others through the very fast corners from turns 5 to 10. And the end result is clear. In practice 1 the team were nowhere, and while they went faster in free practice 2, they still only went 5th and 6th. And the Ferraris and Red Bulls endured a disrupted session on Friday evening, and as a result did not complete a real flyer, but they still finished ahead of Mercedes. Now the team were experimenting to understand porpoising on Friday, but they said they can reduce it, but we saw in free practice 3 on Saturday that Mercedes really fell behind. I mean, they ended up 11th and 14th, and this was seriously bad. But then we go to qualifying, and I have no words really. Lewis Hamilton knocked out in Q1. I was not expecting that in the slightest, and this was on pure pace alone. Hamilton's original time was not good enough to get out of Q1, and he had to do another push lap on the same tyres, as he didn't have time to box. He improved to get into P15, but he was pushed straight back into P16 by Lance Stroll. I'm seriously shocked by this, and it really does highlight the issues Mercedes are facing. And meanwhile, Russell ended up in P6. He just about got out of Q2 and only got one run in Q3, which as I say, got him into P6. It's better than where Hamilton is starting for sure, but he was still around 9/10 away from pole. But things get even worse when you look at the race pace. Times in practice according to the race show that Verstappen was setting an average time of 1 minute 35.1 on the medium tyres over an 11 lap stint, with teammate Perez just 2/10 slower on average over the course of 10 laps. But Hamilton's average time over 13 laps on the same tyre was much slower, with the time being a 1 minute 35.8, and George Russell's was even worse, with his average being a 1 minute 36.1. So in my opinion, the team really do have some serious issues to get on top of. Their straight line speed is a problem and the porpoising is seriously affecting them. And I think like in Bahrain, Mercedes are going to need a bit of luck to score a good amount of points in Jeddah, as right now the car looks like a handful and not on the pace at all. Now before we end, I just want to say that I'm really happy to see Mick Schumacher is okay following that nasty crash. I mean, that was a big one, wasn't it? Through the high speed section of corners in Sector 1, and I'm glad Haas have confirmed he is in a physically fit condition. But guys, what do you think of Mercedes at the moment? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care, bye.